Yeah.
Okay. So, when we were doing our sleeves, we used 1.5 inches. We should have used 2 inch. It wouldn't have cost any more, but we didn't have 2 inch at the time. So we thought 1.5 inches would be big enough for anything that we needed to get in there. The problem is that the pipe for the geothermal is almost always 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches will not go through the inside diameter of 1.5 inches. It lacks like 1 millimeter or 2 of going in there. It was so close. But it wouldn't do it, so now I wanted the pipe there because what we're going to do is we're going to take this heat shrink that has glue on it and put that over the pipe, and then when we heat shrink that down, it'll glue itself to both pipes and help waterproof the outside of this completely. So I wanted to try to keep some of the pipe in there and not just have a concrete sleeve through there. So enter this thing. We found a hole saw that was big enough to allow the geothermal pipe through and wouldn't chew up all of the 1.5 inch PVC, but how to get it to center in there without it wobbling around and everything. And we figured out that if we just took the cores out of the hole saw a couple of times, that it worked pretty decent, but I needed longer out this way to help stabilize it. I found this screw that came off of, I think, some type of packing, like a shipping brace off of a washer or something, who knows what. And it was just lying around. We keep everything, we're pack rats that way. And I used it, put it in the set screw, and used it to hold those. So now I stick this inside the pipe, and I almost got done before I ran out of battery the other night. And you can just go long enough to fill up all of these chip reliefs, because the PVC doesn't actually come out of them. So you fill those up, you bring it out, you brush it off, and go again. It's a little tedious. But I have about 2-3 inches left on one of the pipes to before I'm all the way through on both of them. So now you get to watch me do that. And it gets hot spinning in there. So what I've been doing, and this rag is nasty, but it works, is just getting that wet and coming out and grabbing the bit every once in a while to cool it down. Here, I'll show them down inside. Maybe. So if you see inside there, I don't know if you can tell. I can't tell on the little screen, but there's just a tiny bit at the very end that's still the original PVC. On this one, it is all the way through. We're hoping that's enough. We test fit it, but not for real. And we got to get that pipe, which is coiled up and a pain to work with, we got to get it straight enough to go all the way through there without binding. So there's the straighteners, and you can see that that's just big enough. Oh, and we had, that's the other thing, the shank on this would not fit in our drill extensions. We looked online to find a bigger drill extension, could not do it. I finally found one of the 3-jaw Jacobson clutches that was 1/4 inch on the other end and small enough to go inside the diameter of that. So it was a fiasco a little bit. It would have been much easier to put in 2-inch pipe in the beginning, but live and learn. You have to get the little blocks to line up. Sometimes they're tight. All right, here we go. I usually set the clutch so it doesn't kick. Maybe I can't set the clutch. And there is the chips, and they get melted in there. If you turn it around backwards, that kind of works. Not all the way in. If you go too long, you build up a bunch of those crumbs. Oh, see, there's that bit getting hot. You build up a bunch of those crumbs in there, and it wedges, and you can't get the thing out. I did that before. It was not easy. Okay.
It's not gonna go through the hole.
It will. Shoot.
There's glue right there from the tape. It's gonna get stuck in the hole.
It will.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Dustin.
Did you give me 2 pieces of that stuff or just one?
I only had you one.
Sleeve it. Sleeve it.
Leave it. Actually,
What did I say?
It's because we were both pushing on it.
It's fine.
Pull it back. Just a little. Right there you go. They're about the same now.
okay. Now, do I go ahead and put this on, or do we try to position it to the final resting place? My goal is to run it right down here, if I can make this turn without.
Do you want to cut it first?
We can, or not, and just leave the loop sticking up. Now let's cut it. But we didn't get a saw.
Why would we have a saw over here?
You know. Shoot.
Go.
So these are a supply and a return line. They will hook into the water furnace down there. They will come out somewhere in this area. They'll excavate down and put a manifold in, and they actually fusion weld it to it. It's not just pipe glue or anything, that's actually heat fusioned. And they'll put that into a manifold, and I think we're going to have 5 wells, 4 or 5. We're right at the 4 or 5 ton range for our water furnace, and it's usually 1 well per ton is how they figure that. 300 feet wells or something like that. That pipe is 3/4 inch, and it has a fusion welded U on the bottom of it, and so they measure out of this double pipe 300 feet of it, dig a 300-foot hole, and then shove it down in it, and then they put bentonite clay in to seal. So that makes a really tight seal that transfers heat really well. And they'll do that 5 times, come back, collect it to the manifold, and then that hooks to the manifold and takes it inside. So we have 1 going to the wells, pushing the water down, water and propylene glycol, comes up, back in, goes through the water furnace. Oops, wrong one first.